What's up, guys? This is Radon Sports News. Today we're going to be talking about the expectations in Philly for that piece of shit Saquon Barkley. And we're just going to get right into the bread and butter of this, let the cat out of the bag. Obviously, Saquon Barkley is a bitch. He's a traitor. He's a snake. And I honestly did not see this from Saquon Barkley. You know, he said he wanted to be a Giant for life. We tried making a deal with him. He didn't seem to want to negotiate any reasonable offer. We haven't even seen the numbers out. Maybe the Giants even did offer him a similar contract. And, Saquon has really revealed his true colors, and that's, he's an asshole. So he's going to fit in well with Philly because they have that asshole mentality. Pretty much all their players are pieces of shit. And, if it wasn't for football, probably most of them would be behind bars. They're all assholes. Other than that, we're going to be looking at, can the Philadelphia Eagles be successful and overcome their monumental collapse last year? And I think the answer is no. You take a look at it, what really changed in Philly? Sirianni's still running the team. The guy has no fucking clue how to run a team. I think he made that pretty apparent last year. He made that pretty apparent in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. He's an idiot. He does not know ball. He could be a pretty good offensive coordinator if he really wanted to be. But other than that, he's a clown. They bring an offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. And, part of their problem last year was that they could not run the ball. And, they're tossing the ball every time with a running back at quarterback and Jalen Hurts. They weren't running the ball in key situations when they should. So they bring in Kellen Moore, who notoriously has not figured out how to call a run play in his NFL career. Playing for the Chargers, they didn't use Eckler at all last year, and Eckler's a pretty top-tier running back, probably better than Saquon. And they decided to not use Eckler last year. He had a terrible season. So you go ahead, you have a really good running back, better than Saquon, having the worst year of his career. Let's see what Saquon does in Philly. Probably shit. And you got quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who notoriously can't lead a team, can't make the throws, and can't read the defense. I feel like Max Kellerman when the aliens coming down the earth. You need to make the throw. Who do you want? And honestly, I'd probably still take Iguodala to make the throw because I know damn well Jalen Hurts can't. So, yeah, give me Iguodala over fucking Jalen Hurts because he's a fucking piece of shit, too. You got A.J. Brown, who's just a big crybaby. Should have played in the game last playoffs against the Bucks. And, he's crying that he's injured and he doesn't want to play. Every time he doesn't get the ball, he goes ahead and makes a big fuss about it. It's hard to get the ball when you have a running back at quarterback. So he kind of made his own bed there. You got Devontae Smith, who's a $120 soaking wet. Very talented route runner. I actually like Devontae Smith, but he's not that huge game changer. You got an offensive line that looked horrendous in the second half of the season last year. Now you go ahead and lose Jason Kelsey. Lane Johnson gets a little bit older. He looked not that great last year. You got Cam Jurgens, who was an absolute disaster on the line. He's going to be replacing Kelsey. Jordan Mailata is an absolute dud. Honestly, the offensive line just looks horrendous. And you're going to go ahead and try to put Saquon in that system when Saquon likes to try and think he's Barry Sanders. The way he runs, you really must think that he is Barry Sanders, when in all actuality, he's probably closer to a Joique Bell in status. He's just not Barry Sanders. He's drafted the number 2 overall pick. He's been a bust. He had a good rookie season. Other than that, he just can't play a full season. He doesn't have the longevity. He still thinks he's in college when he only has to play 12 games. But no, it's a 17-game season, and if you make the playoffs, which the Eagles, they're probably better off if they don't because they need to rebuild. They need some younger draft picks, so probably tank, but they won't because they're stupid. Other than that, you look at Saquon Barkley, and he tries to make plays. He tries to, instead of just taking the easy yards, go where the hole is that your offensive line made, tries to do that Barry Sanders shit, and he normally ends up getting tackled for yards behind the line of scrimmage. And when it comes down to it, when you're watching Saquon Barkley, he finally stayed healthy about 2 years ago when the Giants made their playoff run. And don't get me wrong, he was a big part, and we won a lot of games early in the season because he was so good. Also, Daniel Jones was very effective running the football. They looked great. But then you've seen him towards the end of the season, he looked docile. He looked like he couldn't handle it. And that's what I'm talking about when I say that he can't play a full season. If he is healthy, he's not going to last till the end of the season because he gets tired. He's not used to it. And I don't think he ever will be used to it because, he's getting older and it's just not in his bones, it looks like. And then he's constantly getting hurt. He's got the ouchies. You factor in that he's a bitch. I don't see it for the Eagles this year, especially, adding Saquon Barkley, thinking that they're going to get this done. The defense looks not that great. You lost some pieces in Kevin Byard and Fletcher Cox. Brandon Graham comes back on a 1-year hoopla deal. He looks garbage anyway, so kudos for bringing his ass back. That's going to be easy blocking him. And then, Saquon, I don't understand the thought process. You're going to go ahead and you're going to, Tiki Barber says some stuff saying that, he's dead to us, and rightfully so. He is. He is dead to the Giants. Eli once said, once a Giant, always a Giant. And, not for Saquon. You don't do that. You don't switch up on your team like that. And you go to the enemy when it's not like the Eagles were the only team vying for him. There was other teams that wanted him. The Texans were huge in him. I heard the Bears were coming up late for him. I don't really blame him for not wanting to go to the Bears. But you get my point. He had other options, and he said, you know what? Fuck the fans. I'm going to go to the Eagles. And, he's posted all this stuff saying, just trying to live my destiny. I'm just trying to get my money and be with the secure GM. He can go fuck himself. He's a piece of shit and he knows it. And he's all confused. Why are the fans turning on me? Why are former Giants players turning on me? What did you think was going to happen? Like, what did you think? I mean, this is almost worse than the Kevin Durant situation. This is despicable. It's honestly a shame. And if he thinks that he's going to go in the New York Giants stadium next year without armed guards, he's got another thing coming. Because I'll tell you one thing. Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, and the boys are going to be all hands on deck, ready to fucking grab him and snap his legs in two. Because if they don't do that, then guess what? We got DeVito and the boys out back that'll for sure take care of him. Saquon, very disappointing. Was a big fan. Can't be anymore because you're a piece of shit. You showed your true colors, and you can go fuck yourself. Other than that, that's all I have to say. We'll see you.